Let's continue. What amazes me, Sophie said, is how you ever learned to write in the first place. Big mystery. I'm curious too. Ah, said the BFG. I had been wondering how long it is before you was asking me that. Considering you never went to school, I think it's quite marvelous, Sophie said. How did you learn? The BFG crossed the cave and opened a tiny secret door in the wall. He took out a book, very old and tattered. By human standards, it was an ordinary-sized book, but it looked like a postage stamp in his huge hand. One night, I was blowing a dream through a window, and I seized this book lying on the little boy's bedroom table. I wanted it so very badly, you understand, but I was refusing to steal it. I would never do that. So, how did you get it? Sophie asked. I borrowed it, the BFG said, smiling a little. Just for a short time I borrowed it. How long have you had it? Sophie asked. Perhaps only about 80 years, the BFG said. Soon I shall be putting it back. And that's how you taught yourself to write? Sophie asked him. I is reading it hundreds of times, the BFG said. And I is still reading it and teaching new words to myself and how to write them. It is the most scrumdiddly-umptious story. Sophie took the book out of his hand. Nicholas Nickleby, she read aloud, by Dahl's Chickens. By the way, the name of the author is Charles Dickens, but his name's Roald Dahl, and Charles Dickens is just perfect. By Dahl's Chickens, the BFG said. By who? Just then there came a tremendous noise of galloping feet from outside the cave. What's that? Sophie cried. That is all the giants fizzing off to another country to guzzle human beings, the BFG said. He quickly popped Sophie into his waistcoat pocket, then hurried to the cave entrance and rolled back the stone. Sophie, peeping out of her spy hole, saw all 9 of the fearsome giants coming past at full gallop. Where is you off to tonight? Shouted the BFG. We is all of us flush bunking off to England tonight, answered the flesh lump eater as they went galloping past. England is a luscious land, and we is fancying a few nice little English chidlers. I, shouted the maid matcher, is knowing where there is a giggle house for girls, and I is guzzling myself full as a frost blower. And I know where there is a big buggle box for boys, shouted the gizzard gulper. All I have to do is reach in and grab myself a handful. English boys is tasting extra lick swishy. In a few seconds, the 9 galloping giants were out of sight. What did he mean? Sophie said, poking her head out of his pocket. What is a giggle house for girls? Oh, he is meaning a girls' school. He will be eating them by the bundle. Oh, no! Cried Sophie. And boys from a boys' school, said the BFG. It mustn't happen, Sophie cried out. We've got to stop them. We can't just sit here and do nothing. There's not a thing we can do, the BFG said. We is helpless as horse feathers. He sat down on a large craggy blue rock near the entrance to his cave. He took Sophie from his pocket and put her beside him on the rock. It is not quite safe for you to be outside until they is coming back, he said. The sun had dipped below the horizon, and it was getting dark. That's the end of our chapter for the day. The next chapter is called The Great Plan.